When I was married the first time, I was told I wouldn't be able to have children. I wasn't totally shocked. My ex-husband and I had been trying for a year and a half without so much as a scare. And it didn't change much for me either. Rather, it confirmed the divorce that I'd been thinking of and gave me the power to do it. But I was sad, really sad. Unlike most little girls who plan their weddings out from childhood, I planned my children out. Motherhood was my biggest dream, my life goal, my ultimate plan, and I was told that it wouldn't happen to me naturally. It hurt, but I accepted it as my fate. But then in July of 2009, something was off. I was really sleepy. My dogs wouldn't let anyone near me, and I jokingly said, I must be pregnant. But the joke was on me as I read the yes on the pregnancy test. How? Why? What? I was 4 weeks pregnant, jobless since I'd been freshly laid off, and homeless since my lease was up, and single since I'd filed for divorce, and depressed. I had the one thing that I'd prayed for my entire life, but my situation wasn't ideal. I was going to be a single mother. After not being able to find a job or secure a place to live, my family and I decided I would move in with my mother by the beach in South Carolina. I knew no one. All of my friends were in Atlanta. My mom and I had a big falling out over the whole marriage and divorce thing. In my head, I was alone. But in reality, I wasn't. My mom had retired to South Carolina and had made herself part of a new community that adopted my unborn baby and I. Once I stopped crying through my first trimester and allowed myself to be part of this community, the loneliness, despair, and depression dissipated. I still had no clue what I was going to do once I had my baby, but I knew I wasn't going to be alone while I did it. Single motherhood isn't a new or novel experience, but it wasn't one that I'd counted on in that moment. One of my major struggles in life has always been in letting people get close enough to see that I needed their help. When raising a child, you can't do it alone. You need help, and to get that, you have to let people in. When my daughter was 3 months, I got a job working for a bank, and I knew that soon it would be time for us to leave the proverbial coop and go out on our own. I was so nervous about living with her on my own. What if I needed diapers in the middle of the night? Would I have to wake her up and bring her with me? What if I was sick? Who was going to take care of me? Who would help? I what-ifed until the cows came home, and what I came up with was that it doesn't make sense for me to struggle on my own when I have a village of people that want to help. When my baby was 11 months, we moved in with another friend of mine who was also a single mother, and for 3 years we lived together, giving our children siblings that we never thought that they would have in a sisterhood so tight that you couldn't tell we were blood. The saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, but in truth, it takes a village to raise a mother. Without my friends, family, community, I wouldn't have thrived in the face of single motherhood. My daughter has never known that there was a difference. She never wanted for anything or anyone. She had an incredible network of people consistently loving on her, and so did I. Motherhood is the hardest experience in life, and the rewards aren't immediate, nor are they guaranteed. These little people that we create enter the world full of life and without a guide to tell us how to parent them. As moms, we have our own issues, shortcomings, and weaknesses that can hinder our ability to parent as best we would like. But with the village, you don't have to be the best at everything. There's no requirements of perfection, since others will fill in that gap. My oldest turned 6 in February, and I can't count the amount of times that I've cried through moments in motherhood. I can still remember the first time she told me that I was not her friend at 2. She stomped her little foot, and she pointed her little finger at me and said, with her little, very short vocabulary, "Mommy, you not my friend." I was shocked, and I was a little hurt. But later that day, I was able to laugh through it as my best friend and I talked about it. Then when she told me how she didn't love me, I had my now husband shoulder to cry on as I felt the pain of her words shred my heart. There have been times I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent or put food on the table or pay for her daycare so I could go to work. But I was never alone, and my village always came through for us. Whether it was in making sure we were taken care of financially, praying for us, watching her on Saturday mornings so I could work, we were never alone. And from them, I learned so much about being a mom. I learned that there's strength in tears, and it's okay to cry. I learned that I don't always have to smile through the pain, and it's okay to be vulnerable. I learned that it's okay to ask for help and that my children are never an obligation to anyone else. I learned that there are going to be hard days, but the beautiful moments are what get us through. Now, as a married mom of 2 rambunctious little girls, I know I'm equipped to handle the trials and tribulations of motherhood because I have my village.